Messages from the Other Side by Cherokee Billie. Nowadays, more and more people want to know what to expect when they die. They ask me, where am I going to go when I die? What is it like in spirit? Do we get to see people we loved? Do we get to meet other spirits? Do we have bodies? The list of questions goes on. Death is held as such a mystery that the only time most people embark on the voyage of self-realization is when they are faced with the inevitability of their death. What I would like to do here is share with you what I have learned about the afterlife based on my personal experiences in astral projection into spirit, as well as channeling deceased loved ones and what they have to say about their lives in spirit. I have been studying various religions and spiritual teachings for over 35 years. With all the knowledge that I have gained in that time, I was not sure of what it was really like in the spirit world. What started me to see the spirit world was my father. My father was comatose and being kept alive artificially on machines. This went against everything I believe in personally. I knew that his body was worn out and that it was time for him to move on to spirit. I knew he was afraid of dying, and out of desperation I did something I had never done before. I put myself into a state of hypnosis, and I astral projected myself to him in his hospital bed. Let me explain a little bit about astral projection, which is taken from Wikipedia. Astral projection or astral travel is an interpretation of any form of out-of-body experience that assumes the existence of an astral body, separate from the physical body and capable of traveling outside of it. Astral projection or travel denotes the astral body leaving the physical body to travel in the astral plane. The idea of astral travel is rooted in common worldwide religious accounts of the afterlife, in which the consciousness or soul's journey or ascent is described in such terms as an out-of-body experience, wherein the spiritual traveler leaves the physical body and travels in his or her subtle body into higher realms. It is therefore associated with near-death experiences, and is also frequently reported as spontaneously experienced in association with sleep and dreams, illness, surgical operations, drug experiences, sleep paralysis, hypnosis, and forms of meditation. I had to do this in silence and completely alone. That is why I was not in the hospital to do this. I took his spirit by the hand and drew it out of his body and led him into the spirit world. I was surprised at who greeted him at the entrance. It was his army captain from World War II that he had thought the world of. I waited outside as his captain led him inside of the spirit world. I could hear many people talking and laughing. I did not know what they were saying because it was not important to me. All that mattered was that my father was seeing what life was in spirit. After a while the conversation died down, and he returned to where I was, waiting. From there I took him back into his body. I knew at that point he had no fear of dying, and the next day he did pass away. In less than 20 hours I woke up with my father screaming into my ear everything that he wanted me to know before he had left the physical plane. It did not frighten me at all because I knew he had left without telling me many things. For the next 3 days he manifested himself physically and spiritually, and I was able to commune with him. Because of this, I never again doubted that the spirit world was far more real than our physical world is. I know the reason I can see spiritual truths is because of my Native American heritage. We understand the spirits and honor them in everything we do. I started working as a clairvoyant, and clients would ask me if I could connect to a deceased loved one. The first time I did this, I was not sure if I could, but it was a young man who had been killed in a motorcycle accident, and his mother wanted to talk with him. I was able to give her a description of everything that happened and what he wanted to tell her now. This was one of the most moving moments emotionally in my life. I knew I'd help this woman have a connection with her son, which would lead to her healing. When I started doing clairvoyant work professionally, I was asked to channel a deceased loved one by email. I did not know how I would be able to get answers without connecting to the person, but I took on the job and trusted that Great Spirit would give me the answers. The first one of the I have done many um, email readings since that time, but I'm going to give you one that I think will help a lot. It is from a woman whose sister passed away at a young age from cancer, and the sister wanted to know how her sister felt and what was happening for her now that she was dead. This lady had been told by another psychic that she did not deserve answers from her sister, and it had nearly caused her to have a complete nervous breakdown. I related what I had gotten from her sister and wrote this message to her from what I saw, and then her sister spoke directly to her. December 30th, 2009. Dear Carmen, there is absolutely no reason that you don't deserve answers from Katie. You both had a very close bond, and that does not end just because she has moved into spirit. I am surprised, then again not so surprised, that people would tell you such hurtful things. I can tell that you have a very sweet, sensitive spirit, and God loves you. To start off with, I want you to know that people who have passed over are different in spirit. They may not remember or see things the way you do. Remember, they are in a different dimension and have left behind the negative emotions that most humans carry. You can go to my website and read about this in more details in an article I wrote called Afterlife. I just want you to understand because they are different than we are now. Someday we will be in the same liberty that they are. As I started to connect with Katie, I received the strangest message. She says, "Here's your little Kit Kat." I don't know if she ever said this in life, but that's what she feels now. She says she has been coming to you since her passing and has been trying to let you know that she is with you. She says that your grief has stopped her messages coming to you, and that you would have normally been receiving such as in dreams, smelling her perfume, or noticing curtains moving and electronics acting differently. It was the closeness of your relationship that caused such grief for you. Katie is not disappointed that you felt that way. She knew it was going to hit you very hard. Don't blame yourself for taking her death so hard. You loved her very much, and that's why it was difficult. Grief takes however long it takes to subside. You will never stop thinking about her, and you will be reunited in the spirit world. She wants you to know that she's extremely happy and never has to suffer pain anymore. She says it was your experiencing every step of her illness that tore you up. Here's an answer to your first question. How did you deal with your passing? Here are Katie's answers. I was ready to let go. Those final breaths were my letting go of my physical body. Believe me, the minute I was gone, I was watching you and Mom, and I could see your pain, but I was experiencing total bliss. If I could have said anything to you at that last moment, it would have been, "I love you." You both were the closest people to me, and nobody loved me as much as you two. Others cared about me, but it wasn't like what you two did. Because of your being so sensitive, my death really hit your heart hard. You don't need to apologize for any of it, or your actions or thoughts. You have nothing to be forgiven for. I think the best way for you to be able to handle death is to realize that it's passing from one life to another. We shed off our bodies like a snake gets rid of its old skin, and we are truly born again in the presence of divine love. The more you let go of your grief, you will find me coming into your dreams. At night, before you go to sleep, pray and ask the angels to bring me to you. In the morning, have a pen and paper by the bed and write down whatever you get. Keep this as a journal, and in time you will start seeing my messages coming through. At night, I walk around your bedroom, and I sometimes sit on your bed holding your right hand. If you ever feel a sensation on your right hand, whether you're asleep or awake, realize it's me connecting with you. You are going to start finding the pain easing in your heart. I love you dearly, and please tell Mom the same thing. Let her see this message because it may bring up some experience she has had with me and didn't realize it was me. I look forward to being reunited with you and everyone in the family and spirit. I love you, Katie. After I sent Carmen this message, she wrote me back that the nickname I received was absolutely the one they called her sister, Kit Kat. She could not believe everything that I had gotten after the terrible experience she had before with the other psychic. Carmen verified that she knew it was her sister speaking to her because of the way she addressed everything she was feeling. This was an interesting experience because I kept hearing that nickname over and over. This message gave Carmen peace of mind, and she has been able to go forward without so much pain in her heart. When we pass into spirit, we do not instantly gain all knowledge and become filled with wisdom. There is a learning curve, and we keep learning in spirit. Think of death as a birth of your soul. I have found through my experiences of going into spirit and speaking with the deceased that there is life after death, and what I do in this life affects what happens in the next one. It is the law of karma. It is comforting to know that life goes on and that one can always learn, grow, and develop spiritually. The details about everything in the spirit world does not matter. What does make a difference is the belief that any one of us can make an effort to be of service to others, to love, to develop spiritually, and to work toward oneness with God, the Divine Spirit. Thank you for listening. This is Cherokee Billie.